just really excited to see. I haven't seen them for a while, and I'm telling you this because it's now officially church poaching season. While they're here, you're free to try to convince them why All Saints is the best place to be on Sunday mornings. I'm sure they'll be happy to engage in conversation with you about that. So if you've not been here on the one Sunday that I preached prior to this, or back in the day when I might have preached while I was in preparation for ordination, there are some things you need to know about me. Number one, I intend to make you laugh. You can try to stifle it for as long as you want, but I'm just going to try harder until I get a full-throated laugh. And secondly, you will leave here with more questions than answers. So if you came looking for answers, I apologize in advance. So today is Transfiguration Sunday. And one might ask, transfiguration is not a word that we come across in our daily lives too often. We do talk about transformation. So are transfiguration and transformation the same thing? Well, sort of. Maybe. But not really. Transfiguration is a form of transformation. And the transformation suggests a change of form or substance, like ice changing to water or water changing to ice. But transfiguration suggests a revealing of true nature. So in today's gospel, Jesus is transformed in front of his friends, and his true nature is revealed in that moment. Essentially, he becomes really shiny. His face and his clothes glow. So he's actually glowing from the inside and from the outside as well. Now, when I was a kid, I grew up in a house of 4 kids, and my grandmother came to live with us when I was about 8. But she was deep in the throes of senile dementia because we hadn't invented Alzheimer's yet. And she would occasionally say things to my mother like, those children, it was never her children or the children, it was, those children are stealing my money. And my mother would say, oh, mother, that's ridiculous. They're not stealing your money. And then she would always counter with, well, you know how children like shiny things. Well, it turns out that we do like shiny things. And people shine. And they shine all the time, but I think sometimes we're wearing dark glasses and we can't see their shine. Now, I have seen kids transform from shy to confident, from hesitant to eager, from detached to fully engaged. It is truly a wonderful thing to see. I've also seen toddlers go from happy and content to screaming little monsters. And back again, sometimes in less than 10 minutes. I've seen grown-ups do this too. Now, we adults, we like our shiny things too. This can be both a blessing and a bane. I am attracted to shiny new ideas, to shiny new authors. New music sometimes makes me glow. On the other hand, I see myself in my head entirely differently than those outside my head see me. I see a 6-foot-tall, slim, broad-shouldered, well-muscled woman. What I see when I actually accidentally walk past a mirror, perhaps the only shiny thing I'm not attracted to, is a 5'10" fluffy girl who's starting to stoop a little bit. So when I see a shiny new workout plan, I get very excited, and I often will plop down a shiny penny or two because this time it will work for just $39.95. Notice, I did not say this time I will work. Now, we adults, we see a new car with all the bells and whistles and we want it. We see a new house in a new neighborhood and we want it. A new piece of jewelry, a new golf club, a new boat. We are drawn to shiny new things. Once we have them, we want to hold on to them and feel the joy that we get from them over and over again. We want to make that moment last. So what do? We take a selfie. We make photo albums and scrapbooks so that we will feel that rush of excitement just as we did on the day of the event. This is what Peter was trying to do with the building of his booths. Now, if there ever was a time when a person might truly shine so brightly, apart from Jesus, that even the darkest Ray-Bans couldn't possibly hide that shine, it would be at an ordination, right? At my own ordination in this very place, you would think that in that moment when all those men in dresses and women in oversized bathrobes laid their hands on my head or the shoulders of those circling me and called down the Holy Spirit to fill me for ministry, that I would have glowed like the Surrey nuclear power plant. I don't remember anyone falling out claiming that they had been blinded by the light. I do remember being a little worried about what my hair was going to look like after all those holy hands had been on my head. So maybe I missed my own shiny moment. Well, what makes those kinds of moments so special, do you think? What triggers our shine? It could be words of praise and affirmation, but I think it's something more than that. I think it's knowing who we are and whose we are. Because if Jesus ever doubted his mission before this moment, then certainly hearing the voice of our Creator saying to his friends and two of the most important religious figures in Hebrew tradition, "This is my son, listen to him," it must have removed all doubt for Jesus. Now we might think that's a great moment for Jesus to go, okay, yeah, this is me. But it might not have been great news for Jesus, because he might have still held out a little hope that his future could be different than what it had been prophesied or predicted as. He might have hoped that he could just float on up to heaven, hang out with God, answer some prayers, and take care of people. Instead, in that moment, he likely realized that his fate was sealed, and his friends would now hang on to every word that ever came out of his mouth. Knowing what comes out of my mouth when I'm nervous or stressed, this could have been a problem. So Jesus had his super shine on. He's now in full-on glow mode, and his light is spreading far and wide. His friends, though, they're just observers at the start. They're not really participants. They see Jesus, but they aren't glowing. They can tell something special and important is happening, and they want to do something to make the moment last so that they can share it with others. And then suddenly they're in the moment, they're in the cloud, and they hear the Creator's voice, and rightfully so, they're terrified. They might have glowed in a different way in that moment. Once they have this experience, they realize nothing they do will truly capture the moment, and so they decide to just keep their mouths shut. I would bet, though, that Peter, John, and James had some secret hand signals or facial expressions that they could share with each other to remind each other of this special moment without giving it away to the public. Now, in nature, there are some truly amazing creatures that can glow and light up. From starfish that can drop off the glowing tip of its arm to distract a predator, to a squid that can change the intensity of the light it emits based on its mood that day. I can do that too. And some things that we didn't even know shine or glow. Like, here's a good one, possums. Did you know this? If you shine a UV light on a possum, it glows hot pink. If you shine a UV light on a platypus, it glows this beautiful aquamarine, sort of blue-green color. And the scientists have no idea why. This was a relatively recent discovery in science. Birds not only have iridescent feathers that sparkle and shine in the light, but Goldfinch nestlings have little bioluminescent beads around their beaks so that when they open their mouths, they create like a runway, a landing strip, so that their parents in the dark can find their mouths to drop food in from above. Truly amazing. And many of these discoveries are relatively recent in the science world. I imagine that we'll discover more as time goes on. And this leaves me wondering, I wonder if you have bioluminescent or biofluorescent qualities that you've not yet discovered. Because as human creatures, maybe we can do both. Maybe we can absorb light from shiny people around us and reflect that light back to others who might need a little extra light. Maybe that'll cause a chemical reaction within us, as is the case of bioluminescence. And we'll shine from the inside too. And if that's possible, then if we all stand together, glowing from within and reflecting our light to those around us, our truest nature is revealed. And we see that together we can create enough light to illuminate even the darkest parts of our world. Thanks for listening.